Anyway, let's talk about DOTA.
DOTA 2.
Ooh.
DOTA 2.
Oh, the upgraded version.
So we talked about the World Cup of... What's that game again?
Football.
Soccer. Oh,
Football.
yeah. Who cares about
Do
that?
we have to start talking about that again?
No, because there's something way more important coming
Yes.
up in August.
What about Terry Crews, though, huh?
The World Cup of DOTA 2 is coming. Well, it's not the World Cup. It's called something else.
What is DOTA?
Defense of the Ancients. It's a video game.
Oh.
It's a computer game.
I never really understood how Dota came about. Because there's Warcraft 3, right?
Yeah, but it's a map. It's a MOBA. Anyway.
It's hard to explain to someone who doesn't get it.
So
I played it and I don't get it.
The International is like the World Cup of Dota. It's coming up. It's a big tournament, and these guys are going there. They're called OpenAI. It's a research lab founded by our good mate Elon,
Yeah, who's afraid of AI?
the Muskinator.
I just wanted to clarify.
Sure, I don't know about
I think
that.
everyone's afraid of AI, don't I?
But what, he was really
Everyone
scared
should
of
be
him.
afraid of
I thought
AI.
one of his anyway, don't worry. Doesn't matter.
So these guys have developed these agents, these AI agents, and they're bringing them to the World Cup.
Is
Is this what they are?
Yeah.
This
Did
is
he just
Dota.
come out in a boxing robe?
Yeah.
That is not an AI. That's a
These
person.
guys are international celebrities. I don't know if you guys realize this.
But he knows he's wearing a boxing robe, right?
he probably makes
Dude.
more money than most athletes.
That
So-
doesn't justify what he's doing, Ali.
Doesn't it?
Sure, it does. So look,
So is he the developer of these AI?
No.
no, this is just some.
These are
computer
these
game
are
player.
players. This is just a contest.
So anyway, the news is they're bringing a team of 5 AI agents to challenge the best of the best in the world. Previously, they've been able to win one-on-one, but they've developed a team of 5 who's been able to beat amateurs, been able to beat like semi-professionals, like some of
How
the
does
like,
the AI play?
development team.
Give him a sec.
I assume they're in the machine and they go like this.
They're a computer program, right?
I don't know what AI looks like.
But like some of the restriction on playing a game is the fact that you have to interact with it with a mouse and a
Controllers.
keyboard, and you have to look at a screen, move the screen around. You
Oh.
can't see the whole thing
I assume,
all the time.
I assume it's just like mimicked or mirrored.
Hmm.
They're making actions with the.
That was such a hard question to ask.
No, I was
How do
generally.
computer electronics work? Chris,
How does a
and
computer
artificial
play a game?
intelligence?
No, like if
What
you're a
does an
gamer,
AI
you know
even
that
look
it matters what controller you use, right? Like
Yeah.
people on PlayStation complain
Is
about
this the
people
AI
using a
coming out
keyboard.
now?
Isn't
This
the
is
idea that it's
nothing
not
to
a
do with
controller? It's like a... I don't know what it is. So it'd be so fast that...
No, but that's like you can make a computer games have AI already that can beat you. You
Right.
just set the high difficulty really high. But the
Oh,
way
but-
they do it is the fact that they're a computer game, like they're in the game.
Does it
So they
count
have advantages.
as
over you.
artificial intelligence when it's just a program that reacts the way you program it to react?
No.
No.
So wouldn't
it
most
has to
games
learn.
not have artificial intelligence then?
So
Most
Okay,
games
it's
don't
like
have
you know
artificial
how
intelligence.
games say it's you're playing against a computer, right?
Right.
That's what I mean. Like they've always had that, right?
Right.
And they've always been able to set it. You've always been able to set it really hard to play, so like to have a challenge.
But that's not.
Why
that's
is that different?
Because this is its own thing. So this will learn. Well, those bots, you play them, you beat them, you go play them again. They haven't learned anything. They're
Yeah.
going to do the exact same thing. They're not going to remember any strategies. They're going to
But
continue to
they're
do.
not smart either. So they win because they know where everything is.
Yes.
They win because they have advantages that
I
the
would say-
players don't have.
I would say then they're programmed a certain way, and they just see what's coming and they react in a set of certain ways. They're
Yeah.
not watching and learning and behaving according to what is going on around them.
Hmm.
So these guys are there's a team of 5 AIs and they practice on a neural network. They practice
They are a neural network.
sure.
Neural network is like a
Why'd you do
technique
this to me,
to
Chris?
design an AI.
Yep. They play 180 years of Dota 2
Yeah.
every day.
What?
So you think they'd be better at it?
Definitely.
Well, I assume like 180 years is
Alright.
like they will spend 10 hours like walking into a wall just to figure out what the heck's going on.
Right, so it's like the idea of
To like babies.
they do everything, so they've done everything wrong and everything right, so they know
Wow.
everything. Is that
Yeah.
kind of the idea?
Yes, but in this there is also limitations because they can't know everything because in Dota the map is not revealed until you walk over that area. So you can't
Fog of war.
fog of war. You can't know everything. So there are limitations to the AI when they're playing against people. They've
Variables.
only got to pick from 5 out of 115 characters, and there's limitations on using wards and invisibility skills and things like that. So I was watching videos of it. It's pretty amazing, and the players, like the developers, they love it. They think it's amazing because these computers are like learning complex strategies that took them years to even figure out or think to do, and so they want to use this technology. The exciting thing is that it's a general process of learning for the AI.
The exciting thing is that it's Dota.
No, Dota's not that exciting apparently.
You said it was bigger than the World
It
Cup.
fills stadiums.
Well, look, sure. But the exciting thing is the practice behind it. So the same way they're teaching these AIs to play video games and beat the best creative minds in the world at Dota is the same practice they'll use to teach it other things, to teach it regular skills, to teach it...
Populate Mars.
Sure. To populate Mars. I don't know how that would work, but... yeah.
It's
Wow.
pretty suited to this because
I'm
you can
excited.
you can make the game run a lot faster than it does with a person.
Yeah.
So you can cram a lot of game time into a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine it working as well with something you can't simulate perfectly. So in the game, you can simulate it perfectly because it's the game. Like when you play a game, it's always the same. For real world stuff, you need to kind of come up with a model that's very accurate in order for AI to actually learn something useful from it.
Is the game always the same?
As in, like, the mechanics of the game, you're playing the
Remain,
actual
yeah.
game, right? So if you, for example, one of the examples they were talking about using it for was running a big business.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know exactly how markets are going to react to a product
Yes.
all the time, right? There's a lot of variability that you can't simulate.
Yeah.
So when you're training these AIs, you kind of need something that you can get a lot of data from really quickly
Yeah.
in order to teach them. They have to play so much in order to get as good as they've played more than a human has played.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like 180 years worth.
Every
Yeah.
day.
Every
Day.
Every day.
So
Oh, wow.
they should be better than a person,
Yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah.
the level.
But how come an AI, like, okay, so a human, when they build a business, they have to just react to changes in the market and that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
why can't an AI just do the same?
That's where it needs to actually become artificial intelligence, and then it needs to be able to adapt to
Yeah.
variables that it can't foresee.
They
The
do-
way a neural network works is that you basically start off with a bunch of artificial math stuff, right?
Yep.
Just a bunch of nodes that do something to input data and you get an output.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all have these different little like numbers associated with these nodes that basically adjust what they do to the input to get a certain output. And then you look at the output and you go, that output is either good or bad, and you do it again. You make a little adjustment to the nodes, run it again, see if it's better.
Okay.
So basically you're making these tiny adjustments based on whether the output is good from the input that you gave it.
Right.
You don't really know what's going on inside. It's just automatically there's
Really?
algorithms that adjust these little numbers to basically see if you can improve the output. And it works really well if you have a very defined set of data.
Okay.
But when it's like an open, like games, it works really well because you know the rules. Like you know if you've won or lost.
Yeah, okay.
So there's...
Understand.
If you think about this...
Whereas with life, there's no
Life is like, I don't know what's
Yeah.
going to
It's
happen.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared this to chess, which is also very strategy, but this has a lot more variables than chess. So
Mm-hmm.
if a
Yes.
computer has mastered chess, it can beat anyone. But it's going to take a little longer for it to figure out all the rules here and figure out where it should be, where it can be. So one example is, so in this game, there's 3 ways to get to the enemy. You can go to the top, the bottom, or the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And what the computer's figured out to abandon one of those lanes and just focus on the other 2, even if the players are going down there. They figured out, and one of the players in the videos was saying that he didn't figure that out for 3 years until he figured out that was even a possibility.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it only took the computer like 180 years.
Yeah.
But
it's all happening.
what the interesting thing one of the guys said was they play really well as a team because they have no ego. So they
And-
don't do stuff to get, like, because certain times you're playing as a team in this game, but you might want to get a kill yourself
Yeah.
because
No glory.
there's glory in that, right?
Yes.
But they do.
They will give whatever you need to everyone who needs it.
Yes.
That's what, because they put in a human to play with the AIs, and he was like, it was the best. They just gave me whatever I need, the best supporters in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
But there is, like you were saying, like you make an adjustment, see if it works. One of the things that they adjust is like their teamwork level.
Okay.
Because
How
they're-
much it works.
They're able to
around it.
flourish 1 versus 1.
Yeah.
But they had to adjust this teamwork knob because at 1 versus 1 it's totally different.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
5
everyone
versus
for
5.
themselves.
Yeah.
So they had to. And if you turn it all the way down, then they're all just going to support each other and no one's going to push or be a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, super
Nice.
interesting.
Was the other AI
Pretty
thing
cool.
you were talking about?
Also in Britain, it's pretty cool. So there's this. I'll go quick. So there's this app called Babylon, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've
And you
heard
know
this
when
one.
you go to the doctor,
Mm.
you're like, "Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
My
Sup, dog?
my chest is sore." I don't know what you
My
say
left
to your
arm
doctor.
is
I went
numb
to the
and my
doctor
chest
this
is
week.
sore.
So AI breakthrough. So these doctors reckon their AI scores better on medical examinations than most human doctors.
Really?
That's what they're telling me.
Mm.
Cannot be confirmed because the medical examination information is not public.
I know. I read that. I was like,
They've
what
pieced
questions are they asking
Yeah.
these?
They said they'd piece together a test from example questions and questions that have been leaked from the
Yeah.
actual test.
So the app is you can book an appointment and talk to a GP through Skype, FaceTime, video chat.
That's pretty cool.
But another part of it is if you can't be bothered with that, you just have a chat. So you go into the app and you type in, "I have a headache, my balls are sore." And
My bum hurts.
I did this a few times, trying to just figure out what
did you
this...
download the app?
Yeah, and then it will send you all these questions, and then at the end of it, it will say, "Go see a doctor," basically.
So it
So
doesn't
it
give you a
says every
diagnosis.
time.
It just says,
No,
point?
not really.
Could
so
you get
why,
it?
why is this topic interesting?
Because
No, because
Because-
this isn't what's implemented right now. Isn't the actual
That's
thing
not
they were
finished.
testing? The
So
thing they were
eventually
testing
what
is
they
an AI.
what they think it can do is that it can actually diagnose the patient. The AI inside the app can diagnose the patient, and so they don't have to do the call with the doctor.
Yeah. Imagine not having to go to a GP when you're
Ever.
sick. You just talk to your AI GP on your phone.
Yeah.
Dr. Google.
And
So
like
the
here,
doctor's not happy.
well, that's a certain calculation about that in Australia and England and other Western countries where you have a doctor and it's kind of assumed that you can afford to go to it. But think about all the billions of people who live somewhere where you don't have a qualified GP. It
Absolutely.
would be amazing.
And it
Well,
costs.
and they do that with the app
Right.
in
okay.
Rwanda.
So they connect
Yeah.
people with doctors.
I believe it's
who aren't there.
Rwanda.
Oh my gosh.
It's because she's a woman, right?
So,
But yeah,
so
probably
one of
needs
the
to do that.
uses for the app is that the nurse, like people ring the nurse, and she'll put it into the app, and then it'll give her, like the details of the diagnosis.
But that's like current functionalities is still talking to
Yeah.
a person.
yes.
Whereas this would get rid of any limit. There'd
Yeah.
be
No,
no
but
limitation on the number of doctors
In
available.
the article, it does say that she has like prompts on the screen. I don't think she's talking to somebody. Did you read that?
I don't know. It
I
sounds
don't know
like
where I
it
read
sounds
that.
like the, but it sounds like it's not quite as good as
I
the
don't
GP,
think so,
right?
no.
But imagine if it was.
Yeah,
They'd be like,
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
don't need to worry
I
about the
reckon
fact that
it's
there's not
great.
enough doctors.
But even the Babylon
Yeah.
people said that going and talking and getting a face-to-face experience is preferable.
Yeah, and
Of course, they're going to say that because all the doctors are so upset.
you know what it all comes down to is whether they'll give a prescription pad to an AI.
Oh,
Because it doesn't matter if
That
they
is
diagnose you
interesting.
if you can't get the drugs you want.
yes.
It's pointless.
Dip said what I was thinking. Haha, it's better, but we can't show you. Right?
Mm.
So it hasn't. They're just everything they're just saying right now, or have they actually proven this?
Well,
They can't do the exact medical exam because the exact medical exam isn't available.
Privacy.
I'm also not sure about the nature of the exam that they do. Dip probably knows better, but I'm guessing it's not just like multiple choice because obviously a computer will do that better. It's just a database of information. I think the exam is sort of a case study
Yeah.
where they'll ask you questions and you have to give the right diagnosis or go down the right path.
I was going to say so much of a doctor's diagnosis is actually interpreting the
Yeah,
patient's
I
state.
think that's
right?
the actual challenge of it. It's not
That's
just
it.
like knowing information. Wikipedia could diaggnose you with
Well, you could go
something
on
better than that.
WebMD and diagnose
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Well,
that's not the problem they're
Yeah.
trying to solve.
Yeah.
It's not just facts. It's like getting those
Yeah.
facts out of a patient.
But do you think that an AI could eventually do this? And are the doctors just afraid that they're going to lose their job?
I think everyone's afraid of that.
Not me.
It's fine.
Julian says your hair looks great, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Jules. Feels great.
I would. It's pretty nice to know your doctor and to actually go there,
Yeah.
especially if you're
You
worried
think
that it's
so?
going to be bad news. Like, imagine if it was something serious. You wouldn't want to.
Well, that's one of the things that they say. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, like if
You
you
have cancer. Sorry.
like it's so impersonal.
But it did.
It's like
No, it'd be
you
like
have
the
to
Google
actually
one.
consider like how it's going to
Yeah.
how the diagnosis is going to affect
Well,
that person.
when I was chatting to her, she did say,
What do you mean when you were chatting to? Oh, that.
she did
Come
say,
on.
"Oh, I'm sorry, I have to ask you a personal question," or
Oh, see?
Oh, so she has tone.
because I asked her some like weird ones. And she was like, "I know this is awkward, but
Did she say that?
well, the words came up on the
Jeez,
screen,
how,
Yeah.
how deep did you get with her?
and I'm just imagining it's a woman. I don't know why.
Oh, so it's not like a picture of a lady?
It's because the app has pink on it, isn't it?
Perhaps.
Oh,
I
here we
think
go.
so. Well, I'm just saying.
Would you use this?
I definitely use it.
Yeah.
I actually hate going to the doctor.
I've told
I
it
find,
burns when I pee. It's
What?
now asking me questions.
I asked that one too.
Nice.
I reckon this could eventually be worked into like the Google Home.
Can you try something really crazy like I spilled acid on my testicles?
I typed in my penis fell off.
What did it say?
It said the same questions as when I said pee burns when I pee.
Yeah, because
Wait,
it's
what
not
did you wanna
smart now. It's just going to put you
I
in
spilled
contact with the
acid on my
doctor.
balls.
And then at the end it says go to the doctor.
Yeah, well, Dip, I've never seen Dip so skeptical about anything in my life.
Dip's a classic skeptic.
He needs the data. He wants the numbers.
It's a good thing, Dip. Also, go back to stroking a picture of lamb.
Yeah.
He just pulled out.
No lamb, no
Wow.
party.
I'm all for AI.
Anyway,
I'm
last
hopeful.
topic. Trump's doing something.
Oh, as
It's
usual.
not about Trump.
Had the acid balls.
It's not pulling out of the UN,
Question's
is
always
it?
the same as long as testicle or penis is in there.
Have you had unprotected
It basically
sex?
asks you if you've had unprotected. I spilled acid on my penis. What does that have to do with it?
Well, has to cover all the bases.
I'll say.
Yeah, one, you need to wash the skin area. And two, you might have the chlamydia.
Okay. So
All right.
something happened
What
in the government.
is Trump doing, Jono?
Mm.